Okay.
Hi, welcome back to the Summer Kids Series. I'm Barbara Paris, and we're here at Austin Creative Reuse. And today we're going to be painting together. We're going to be painting the blue dogs. We're going to be drawing first and then painting. And blue dogs are, as you can see, painted by an artist named George Rodrigue, and he is an artist from Louisiana, and he was inspired by his blue heeler, which is why he started painting blue dogs. And his blue dogs are painted in every setting you could imagine, at the park, at the beach, playing baseball, going to work, anything you could think of in at a ballet, even dancing in a ballet. So anything you could think of, he put his blue dogs in any background. So that's kind of what we're going to be doing, but I'm going to show you step by step how we do it. So first thing we'll do is we'll read this great book called Why is a Blue Dog Blue? Hello, my name is George, and I'm the artist. Why is a blue dog blue? I use my imagination to paint my own world. I can paint a dog any color I can imagine. So why is a blue dog blue? Well, the truth is that blue dog isn't always blue. Sometimes a blue dog is red. Other times, I paint a blue dog yellow. Occasionally, I paint a blue dog blue or green. Once in a while, I paint a blue dog orange. I never paint a blue dog purple, except when I do. I can paint a blue dog rainbow, but most of the time I paint blue dog blue, which brings us back to the original question, why is a blue dog blue? Maybe it has to do with what I think about when I paint. What color do I paint blue dog when I go fishing? Salmon. What color do I paint blue dog when I want a hot dog? Mustard. What color do I paint blue dog when I bake a pie? Cherry. What color do I paint blue dog when I go to the beach? Tan. What color do I paint blue dog when I fall in the swamp? Moss green. That's a pretty color. What other colors can I paint blue dog? I can paint a blue dog magenta, lavender, chartreuse, ebony, turquoise, khaki, mauve, chocolate, avocado, alabaster, periwinkle, aqua, gray, violet, burgundy, apricot, Cajun, and emerald. Very pretty, but still not blue. Blue dog is blue. Why? Look in the sky. Blue dog is everywhere, like the sky. That's why. And that's our fabulous book, Why is Blue Dog Blue? So, as you can see, the blue dog is painted in all kinds of settings. I have another little blue dog book, and you can see that blue dog is sometimes red, sometimes white. Here he is, I don't know, at a seance or something. And this is just with waves in the background. More swirly whirlies. And here he is just outlined pink. Here he is sitting on a stepping stone. So anything you could think of for a blue dog. You can put yourself somewhere. You could think, oh, I feel like going to the beach today, or maybe I was thinking those jumping the balls in a big pit, like the, what's that called? The ball pits with all those billions of balls. That would be super fun to have a blue dog in one of those. So anyway, let's get started with our drawing. So I have this size canvas. Now, you can paint on any size canvas. This big giant one is one that my son did. And that's how I got interested in blue dogs. My son was just fascinated. And he was about 6 when he did this. And his blue dog, I guess, is kind of an angel, a king angel or something. So he did a giant one. You can do any size at all. So let's start out with, this is a good size for us for now. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to draw. Can you see that? Mm-hmm. Okay. Sort of a little C. And then these are his ears, and they're kind of triangles. And they're on both sides, of course. And then inside your triangle, you're going to have a little triangle. And then a little triangle. And then we'll finish out his face, and we'll go around, but leave a little space for his snout. So it's like a C. The next shape is like a bowling pin. So we start out his nose, which is just a straight line down, and another straight line down, and then we're just going to get a little wider, come around. Now, one thing about blue dogs is their hair is kind of scruffy, so we're going to give him little jagged edges sometimes, and those are just little triangles. Inside the bowling pin, which is his snout, you're going to have an oval shape, and then his 2 eyes, you're going to start out with a circle, and then another circle around that circle, and then a circle, and another circle around that circle. And then his body. So on both sides, you're just going to go all the way down, and it's going to go far enough for his body to turn into his legs. So, and then all the way down, and in here you're going to just do a sort of a square, but then you're going to stop, so like a table, and then just connect the 2 ends. Okay, so the behind, this is his body, but behind his body he's got his little leg. So there's another little triangle, and here's another little leg, and what shape is that? Maybe just an L, the letter L. Okay, so that's pretty much the basics for drawing. Right in here, his mouth has a little, that's where his mouth and his tongue will come right out of there. On here you'll have these 2 little circles, but we're going to be painting over that, so you don't need to do that. So one thing that is a really great little trick is put a horizon line in. Now, George Rodriguez doesn't always put a horizon line in his blue dogs. Like these 2 do not have a horizon line, but a horizon line can be anywhere on the page, and it just makes it look like your dog isn't floating around. So it separates the ground, the bottom from to the background and the foreground. So it kind of just looks like he's actually sitting on something. So now we're going to start to paint. So let's see. I think I will do my blue dog pink today, because pink's my favorite color. So I have my painting palette here, and you'll need some brushes and some water. You'll need some water, and you can put your paints out on any kind of piece of cardboard, old plate, plastic plate, any kind of painting palette works. So now the other thing about painting, anything really, is if you make it all the same color, it'll look really flat. So using shades and value of the same color. So when I'm using pink, I'll use different values of pink. So light and dark, and then even darker. So we'll start out with this pink, and I'm just gonna fill the whole thing in. And I'll just paint the whole blue dog right now, and then, or this is my, I'll call him a pink dog. But any color dog is always a blue dog. So I'll just fill my blue dog in with my pinks. And like I said, using different values of the same color always gives it depth and makes it look more real. If you go outside and look at the grass, a lot of times people just paint the grass green, but if you look at grass real carefully, you'll see that there are different colors in the grass. Sometimes it's yellowish, sometimes it's light green, sometimes it's dark green. So if you add more colors to the things, that different values of whatever you're painting, it always gives it more interest. So one thing I do like to do is outline my blue dog I like to do it with black. It could be outlined with anything, and the truth is it doesn't have to be outlined at all, but I like the way it looks when it's outlined. This one has an outline, and I just like to outline them, but it's not necessary. But what I'll do is I'll do my pink dog first, let it dry. I'll go back over it with a black outline. So I don't know if I mentioned that George Rodriguez had he had a blue healer, so that's what he was inspired by. Also, there are some stories about him painting a wolf. That there was an old folk tale in Louisiana about this wolf that he used to have nightmares about, and he didn't know if it was his blue healer or the wolf that he was always painting. But he painted about 30 years ago. He did his blue dogs. He did hundreds and hundreds of them. There's a museum now down in New Orleans with all of his stuff in there. And if anybody wants to see them, or you can just look in books, and those are fun. Another thing about these blue dogs, if you look at the pictures of the blue dogs, you can always see that just like on the top of his nose, it gets jaggedy. Well, his ears can have those little jaggedy edges because his fur isn't perfect. So I think I'm going to make a few jaggedy edges on his ears. And then you could even come down to his face and make some more jaggedy edges, and then blend the whole thing in. Okay, so then just to tell the difference between his nose and his face, we'll do another pink.
And then Barb, do you want to talk about what kind of paints we can use?
Yes. So I'm using acrylic paints, and the truth is you could use any kind of paints. Sometimes here at ACR we get pints of those of these house paints, but we also get all kinds of good quality artist paints. So any kind of acrylic paint, you could, even if oil paints are very difficult to start with, but you could paint with anything. I would say just acrylic paints. If you have, you can just get these kind of, inexpensive house paints. You could go to, you can come, well, you can't come here right now, but we do have custom shopping, so you can call and get lots of paints. I'm also using these inexpensive little craft paints. These are all acrylic paints. So any of these kinds of paints, any kind of acrylic paint works. And the same goes for brushes. These are sort of house paint brushes, and these are just little craft paint brushes. So yeah, any kind of acrylic paint works. The other thing to remember is, if you don't have paint and you don't feel like painting, get some crayons, get some markers, and do this with markers and crayons. And that's always fun too. And put it inside the ears. And then let's just do the back legs here. And while this is drying, I don't think we'll do a background right now. Maybe we'll do that next. Oh, there's one more thing. For some reason, his blue dogs always have yellow eyes. So instead of having the white around the pupil, the black, he has yellow. And I always make my blue dog's eyes yellow. So you just go around the outside circle and just make that yellow. And as you can see, I'm painting right on top of the pink, which is still wet, but it still works. I could do another layer just to make it a little brighter. But for now, I'll just leave it like that. You know what? The other thing I should do is paint the inside of his nose. And then the inside of his eyes. But I don't like that brush at all, so I'm going to have to get a different brush. I think the yellow brush was better. So just clean it off. And we just need a couple dots for the inside. And well, now that I have the black paintbrush, one thing that he also does is he makes his eyebrows, and he takes little lines and goes around the eyes like this. I like this brush even better. So this is a nice skinny brush. So for skinny lines, it's nice to have a skinny brush. Okay, so, and then of course we can't forget his eyebrows. Eyebrows. And then I'm gonna make some more of those lines. They're kind of expression lines. Let's go around the eye, the circle that you can't see very well. And then I'll do some of those expression lines. So you can see how he did that. Then I'll just have another little line coming out like that. Now my pink's not dry yet, so I could wait to go over some of these lines. But just so you can get an idea of what I mean. And then around his whole face. So I'll go around the whole thing with black, and it just, to me, it just makes it a little bit stronger, but it's really not necessary. And really one of the fun parts is the background, deciding what your blue dog is going to be doing today. That's one of the funnest parts. I'm not sure how my son came up with his angel. That was a king angel, but I thought it was fun. But I never would have come up with that. So everybody will come up with their own ideas. Even your abstract ideas, just the swirls in the background, works really well too. And one thing that my son did that is great for ACR is he took those little sequins and he put it in the crown, and he did it before we knew about ACR. But we have so many things like sequins and pom-poms and just little shapes, and you can add things so that your painting becomes a multimedia piece. And you don't have to just have paint on your canvas. You could add paper, you could add scraps of things, you could add sequins, pom-poms, you could add all kinds of things to your painting that make it really, really fun. I love adding stuff to my paintings. And I paint all the time. I don't always paint. Blue dogs is not one of the things I paint because I have my own things I paint, but it's real fun. Okay, so now I guess he's more or less ready to dry. I'm sure there's a few little things I could touch up, but we're gonna let him dry for now, except for one last little thing. Do this, his little triangle ears. Okay. And as you can see, I didn't do those jaggedy edges on both sides, so I probably should make a couple jaggedy edges here too, or at least one. So the next thing we're going to do is I want to show you different backgrounds. So let's take a walk over to the painting section of ACR. Okay, here we are in the fine art section at ACR, and the fine art section has everything that you need for painting. Paints and brushes and canvases, and so ACR gets things donated to us. So artists or maybe families that are moving and they did a lot of painting, just give us what they have. So a lot of times we get canvases that are already painted. So I'm going to look at some of these canvases and see if any of them might work with a blue dog painting. Now that would be sort of abstract, kind of cool. Just the trees might be interesting. This is another abstract, but we get all kinds of paintings from people. This is an interesting one. So what I did was I drew a pink blue dog and cut it out so that I could see what it would look like on different backgrounds. So this one obviously, well, this one's kind of cool. You have that person in the background. Let's look at the abstract. That's fun. But just to give you an idea of different backgrounds, you put a tree in there, and we don't want Nicholas's name in it though. And here's some bigger ones. So as you can see, different backgrounds make it just change the whole painting. Let's see if there's any other information. Here's just a, it looks like some water, just a little landscape. So that's kind of cool too. So the point is, any background is good, and you could even paint your canvas first and then put your blue dog on top of it. So those are a few ideas about backgrounds. Another thought was the craft area. We can go look and see what's over there. Okay, so on our way to the craft section, I saw all this jewelry, and I thought, there's so many necklaces. Wouldn't it be so fun to put a necklace on my blue dog? These are puka shells. I remember wearing puka shells in the 80s. We could also just put on maybe just plain old pearls. I'm not sure which one, maybe pearls. But so this is our jewelry section and our bead section. So if I wanted to maybe put beads all around the bottom, like that bouncing ball box, whatever that was called, I could use those. Or we could come on down to the craft section. Okay, so in the craft section, there's pom-poms. That would be perfect for the balls. There's also sequins, lots of sequins. You know, it might be interesting to put flowers in it, maybe just glue some flowers. I mean, there's so many possibilities, so many ideas. But yeah, but that's just a few ideas. There's also feathers. That would be super fun. Some feathers in there. Should we try that? I don't think so, not today. So, all right, well, let's go back to painting.
Yeah.
Okay, so those are some ideas about backgrounds. And here's my blue dog with a different background. And so as you can see, we didn't do a background on this. And you know, I could quickly just show you just filling it in so it's flat. I like gold, so we could do gold. But what I thought I'd do for this blue dog is, since we all have to wear masks in Austin, I thought I'd put a mask on this guy. And I also thought I'd put a necklace on him or her. So I think my blue dog is a she, and she's gonna wear some puka shells. So anyway, so for the background, just to give you an idea, I'm just quickly going over it real flat in gold. And I won't do the top right now, but you should do the top. And I would love to see all the different ideas that you come up with for your blue dogs. So if you can tag us at ACR or
Austin Humane
Society, who of course we're partnering with. So if you can tag us, I would love to see them. That would be really fabulous. So there's our gold background. This is the foreground, so, and this would be the background. So my blue dog is in a gold background And I'm gonna put a mask on her. So my mask will be just a light pink, and let's see, how will we do that? Just going to cover the whole snout. We need to cover the mouth and the nose. Just cover the whole thing with a little mask. I'll probably have to go over this a few times because of that black nose, but and as you can see, it's not dry, so it's mixing, but that's okay. One thing about painting is anything you think is a mistake is never a mistake, because mistakes could always be turned into new ideas. And that's one of my favorite things about art and painting is you never really make mistakes. You just get new ideas. And mistakes sometimes actually work in your best interest, because then you get more ideas, because you have to think of, how can I correct that? So that's what I'm trying to think, how can I correct this paint? And maybe I'll give him just an interesting mixed color mask. Now it'll be more fun to wear anyway. And then we have to have those little straps right around his face. And then the strap. And I guess we still have lots more to do, but yeah, there's that. And then let's put a necklace on it, on her. Okay, so I have my puka shells, and I'm going to use a glue gun. I love glue guns because everything sticks with the glue gun. And then we'll stick this puka shell right on top. Whoops, one's getting away. Okay, we have to let that dry. So there's our blue dog. And one more thing I want to show you, so follow me. Okay, so one thing I wanted to mention to you is I could put some kits together, and the kits will have a canvas, and maybe I should put 2 canvases in. So I'll put 2 canvases in a kit. I'll have one this size and one this size, so a small one and a little bit bigger one, and I'll have 5 different paints, and it's gonna just be random paints. Maybe I'll try to put the primary colors so that you can mix, because if you have yellow, red, and blue, you can get green, purple, and orange, and then all kinds of shades of that. So I'll try to put the primary colors in yellow, and the primary colors white and black, so that you could mix them together. I'll also throw in 3 paintbrushes. So anyway, I'll have a nice little kit. It'll be called the Blue Dog Kit, and it'll be here at ACR. All you need to do to pick it up is just go online. So go to our website at austincreativereuse.org, and there'll be a link for shopping online. And on the shopping online, there'll be a Blue Dog kit. I'll get them all ready today, so they'll be ready for you. And if you order it in the morning, it'll be ready within half an hour or an hour, and you can come by and pick it up. So that would be great. Okay, so now our blue dog has a mask, the Statue of Liberty has a mask, and we all have a mask in Austin. So stay safe and healthy, and visit us on Instagram at austincreativereuse.org and Austin_humane. Be creative and be safe. Thanks.
We'll just see.